I directly went up to him and grabbed his neck. I asked him why he was still here. I haven't come to settle the score with you yet. What are you doing here? Do you think you own the place? What do you want in the end? Mid-aged guy told me that he really has nowhere else to go. Today he was badly beaten while looking for a job. He asked me to do him a favor and let him stay for a couple of days. I will just throw him out the door directly. I warned him that this is the last time. Next time, I will call the police. I'm so annoyed. I've had a really bad day today. I took a deep breath. What's so fragrant about this stew? I opened the stove to look. I don't know what this is, nor do I know if it's poisonous. After probably less than a minute, I opened the door. I saw the middle-aged guy still squatting at the door of my house and I smiled. I let him in. I pointed to the dark dish and said, "This dish is so delicious. Do you know how to cook other dishes?" Mid-aged guy said, "SOSO. I am curious about his ability. He can find work in any restaurant. Why did he get beaten up?" Mid-aged guy asked me if I really couldn't tell. He is a person with a criminal record. He also doesn't understand smartphones. He is not familiar with resumes either. He just wants to live a normal life. But it's too difficult. Are you interested in partnering with me to open a restaurant? Mid-aged guy said, as long as I have no objection to his criminal record, we can discuss everything. I feel good about it. I don't want to inquire about his past at all. The middle-aged guy did say I was too reckless. Many people were scared off by his criminal record. They asked me if I was sure I had the guts for this. I paused for a moment. When it came to not wanting to argue about family property, I felt as lowly as a rat in the sewer. The opportunity in front of me is worth a try. If one wants to eat meat, one must deal with the wolves. Wolves can't bite people if they want to eat meat. I hope the risks I take are worth it. After mid-aged guy saw that I was prepared, he thought our cooperation was off to a good start. I reached out to mid-aged guy and asked him to hand over the hidden money. I want to raise as much money as possible to get a storefront. He actually took the money and gave it to a few close female friends. He split it all up. My secret funds are not enough to rent a house. I thought I could achieve financial freedom quickly. Just then my phone rang. I picked up the phone and answered it. I did not expect that it was Daisy calling. She told me that she might have been a bit too harsh when talking today. That's because she was extremely scared. She told me she is not a materialistic girl. I asked her to cut to the chase. She said she wants to help me find a quick way to make money and asked if I'm interested. Of course I'm interested. It turns out Daisy wants me to cooperate with her friends to do live streaming. And my task is to change into the clothes prepared by them and perform throwing knife. They offered me a 55% share of the profits. In order to make ends meet, I decided to take the risk. However, the clothes they prepared for me, it really makes me feel a bit nauseous. To avoid disturbing my daily life, I put on a blindfold. However, her friend wanted a better live streaming effect. She unexpectedly set up an electric grid on the ground at the last minute. As long as I don't hit the bullseye, I will be just like this piece of meat, electrocuted by the electric grid. Their methods have indeed attracted many spectators. However, most of them may have come to see me make a fool of myself. Just like all of you watching in front of the screen right now. But as someone with precision aiming, I will not let you down. I threw the dart directly before anyone could react. With a crisp sound, it hit the bullseye directly. Then I continued to throw. Of course, still hitting the bullseye. The number of people on the live streaming channel is also growing significantly. They did not expect to face the power grid. I can still have such a calm and light attitude. Daisy's friend immediately felt that I was a particularly powerful person. She started to set the atmosphere on the live streaming channel. By the way, she started reminding people to hit the like button. This way I start to continue throwing. Daisy's friend's commentary is also getting better and better. Don't forget to hit the like button. When I hit all 7 out of 7 shots, I quietly walked to the front door. I dropped the remaining 3 darts on the ground. I directly said that the studio before the broadcast hoped I would fail. I don't like acting, so consider these last 3 darts as my failure. I don't understand why people like to mock someone who is having bad luck and derive a sense of superiority from it. Perhaps I am not cut out for this line of work. My performance has ended. I should probably say goodbye to the live streaming business as well in the future. That's how I left. The next morning, I was woken up early by a phone call. When I answered the phone, I was told that I had become famous. I got angry and said some nonsense early in the morning. I guess my look from last night was parroted like this. I packed up and walked out of the room. There's a bowl of green porridge ready on my desk. Of course, this was prepared by the mid-aged guy for me. I told Tate that the appearance is really not good. Opening another store right now is not possible. Tate is very disappointed. He thought he could get it done in these 2 days and have income immediately. I told him that he still needs to do it. The timing is uncertain. Anyway, let him stay at my house during this period. He has food and shelter, at least better than being homeless. After saying this, I left. Just arrived at the building of the company downstairs. Daisy came with her 2 friends to find me. Faced with their enthusiasm, I told them I still had to work and said goodbye. They actually blocked the entrance of the company. They are so difficult to deal with that I won't go back even if they beat me to death. As soon as I arrived at the company, my colleagues told me that Leo was looking for me. I curiously asked what they were gathered for. She took out her phone and said, "Check this out. It's a super funny video that just went viral. Even director Leon got brainwashed by it." When I took a look, it turned out to be me. I can't believe I got turned into a video so quickly. I asked, "Isn't this person called Never Miss?" He told me that because all 7 darts hit the target last night, so everyone started calling him 7 Guy. Afterwards, I went to Director Leon's office. When I came in, he pushed me against the wall. He asked if both Daisy and I were at the 7 Guys live streaming last night. Why didn't he see me there? I was at a loss for words on how to explain. Director Leon suddenly asked me if I have 7 Guys' contact information. I looked at Director Leon's desire for 7 Guy. I said that I would guarantee the completion of the task, because I promised Director Leon to accompany him to 7 Guy. That is also me. I took the initiative to contact Daisy and her group, and so I joined their team again. After almost a month passed, the system reminded Dreamland to open tomorrow. The next Dreamland game is about to start. But dreaming doesn't appeal to me anymore. Real life is equally exciting. In the evening, I found an excuse to leave, letting 7 Guy meet Leo alone. Then I told Director Leon that I am someone who enjoys freedom, just as Lillian sighed. Director Leon tried to get close to me, but I kept my distance. Suddenly, someone remarked that Director Leon was being presumptuous. To everyone's surprise, the person turned out to be Zach from the Peak Group, who also came to invite me to join their team. However, he was also directly rejected by me. He actually tried to buy me with money. I told Zach the reason why I didn't want to, simply because I dislike him as a person. After returning home, I put the bank card on the table. I told Tate that I already had enough money to open the store. Because when opening a store, you have to pay at least 3 months rent up front. I saved the money that my family gave me for each birthday. At the age of 1, my family put 100 yuan into this card. At 2 years old, they saved 200 yuan. The same goes on. Even though my family is in debt, my parents still insist on saving money. They hope that I can find my own life. This money is of great significance to me. The decision to open a shop is also important. However, Tate suddenly said, "Are you ready?" But it was already too late. I was a bit confused about what he was asking. Tate told me it was too late as he had found another job. My parents' hard-earned money has to be well kept. What I didn't expect at this time was that the previous team leader turned out to be me. It was 7 guy who smashed Zach's photos at the banquet. He even gave these photos to Zach. It turns out that originally she did not get angry at the banquet because one of her henchmen, a tough brother who had been in jail, was released. His subordinate Mason told her that they had already made contact with him and mentioned that the person was in need of money. They had already paid him a deposit, and he was willing to do any dirty work assigned to him. Zach looked at the photo of himself without a mask in his hand. He snorted. Let's just call it a day when it comes to the game of hearts. My name is Carlos. I just had my neck cut. I feel like I'm about to die. 15 hours ago. In the morning, I met an aunt looking for Tate as soon as I opened the door. It delayed me for a while. Then I set off with Director Leon. I am already Leo's assistant. After getting on the car, I realized that Leo's driver and assistant were already on board. The driver is named Colin and the assistant is named Hannah. At this moment, we are going to see a powerful and cunning woman. If we can get her help, Lillian's performance will be no problem. What I didn't know at this moment is that the woman just rejected Lillian's negotiation. At this time, Lillian and others all had black lines on their faces. Because the aunt delayed me a bit in the morning. So we arrived a little later than Lillian. Later, Director Leon introduced me to the woman we would be negotiating with today. Jennifer, the president of Eastern Corporation. I reached out to greet Jennifer. She didn't even look up at me. Then she told us she was taking a break from her busy schedule, so let's not talk about work. And then she went to soak in the hot springs. What's going on? Did I mess up? Director Leon told me to relax. He said Jennifer is testing our patience. Eastern Corporation has the largest domestic platform. If we can connect to their online channel, our performance will take off in a short time. It's just the price. They are asking for a sky-high price, pushing me hard. If they trap us, I'll deliberately raise the quote and switch channels. We can't get stuck here. Director Leon said it's not possible. It turns out Lillian made a bet with the company. There isn't much time left. If the company's profit doesn't meet the standard by the end of this week, I'm afraid he may never see Lillian again in this lifetime. I feel that things are not looking good. Is Lillian serving as a director a gamble? What does it mean never to see again? Director Leon still wants to continue negotiating. Lillian asks him what he has to negotiate with. Jennifer has a grudge against her father. She can't wait for them to be done for. It's already quite polite not to add insult to injury this time. But Director Leon knows. Only Jennifer can rapidly promote the product nationwide. But there are only 3 days left. If there are no significant results, Lillian has to leave. Lillian asked the 2 girls, who came with her, to go back to the company first. Just then, a discordant voice sounded. Zach said that the farewell party was quite lively. He will send Lillian to David. Director Leon said that there are still 3 days left until the agreed time. He asked if Zach's arrival was a bit rushed in 3 days. Zach replied, "So Lillian's father didn't tell you." Lillian will meet David tomorrow and work to expedite the marriage to facilitate cooperation between both parties. Lillian also did not expect that her father would send her away to save face while the employees were on vacation. At this moment, I am also very surprised. Why does it feel like this marriage is a transaction? Director Leon pointed at Zach and said, "You're talking nonsense. Fathers don't think like that." But Zach said that L Corporation's financial chain is about to break. I didn't expect the headquarters to have such a serious issue. So Lillian, in order to prove her own ability, used performance as a wager. If she fails to achieve the goal, she will have to marry David in a union to save the company. Lillian seems not to like David. They may never meet in a lifetime. Could it be that David lives abroad? Director Leon still doesn't believe. Zach will call to inquire. Lillian directly interrupted Director Leon, saying it was unnecessary. She also said her father is such a person. Director Leon is not unaware. Lillian's eyes dimmed as she said it has always been like this, manipulating her life at will, deciding her fate at will. Lillian felt like she was living in an airtight room. Director Leon immediately comforted Lillian upon seeing this, telling her to take a rest. Zach, who saw all this, laughed heartily. He mocked Lillian for insisting on betting with Lillian's father in the first place. Now she is obediently marrying David, that old man who can hardly stand up. She deserves it. Hearing Zach's sarcasm, I glared fiercely at him. He asked me, "What are you looking at?" "It's none of my business. Let me just deal with my own mess." Just then my phone rang. It was a call from the live streaming room. I asked her what was the matter. She said that we have been slandered online. We have inexplicably been labeled as a cult organization. I asked her if she wanted to sue them. She said it's not possible. Doing so would only attract more attention to this matter. The public's first impression of Seven Guy is exaggerated hype, which is very harmful to our future development. They will discuss it and get back to me later. Suddenly I knew that all of this was the work of Zach. He looked at me menacingly and said, "How about that? This is just the appetizer, Seven Guy." He then turned and left. Late at night, I sat alone by the pool. Zach already knows my identity. I don't know what retaliation will come next. The studio has not reached a decision. Director Leon and Director Lillian have not made any moves. I thought of Lillian's comments about her father's words. I realized I can't wait for Director Leon. I'm going to talk to Jennifer. Fight for a chance to turn things around. Just then, someone suddenly walked towards me. After seeing the newcomer, I felt incredulous. I asked in surprise, "Tate, what are you doing here too?" He said he was helping people by taking their money to eliminate their troubles. Later, he took out a knife and said, "Sorry, Carlos." Like this, he wiped my neck and I fell into the pool. Am I going to die? Before fainting, I saw a woman trying to grab me as I sank. An electronic sound came through indicating that the character has been created. When I woke up again, she said, "Welcome to join the second level of Dreamland, Monsters Invasion." I thought I was dead. But unexpectedly I appeared in the game Dreamland. Number 63 told me that the dead cannot enter the game. They asked if something unexpected happened in reality. Just thinking about the scene at that time makes me break out in a cold sweat. Tate said I'm a good person. He didn't kill me. Go to the hospital as soon as possible to save my life. Then I have to leave this city. Otherwise, he will continue to harm my colleagues. My family will not have a good ending. Why is it so difficult to succeed in everything I want to do? Since there is no turning back, let's go all out. Reminder, Monsters Invasion Mission number 63 is extremely difficult. You will die quickly without auxiliary items. But I don't need them. I want to train my combat skills like crazy in this dreamland. Even if the heavens want to tear me apart, they'll have to lose a tooth. As the white light from the gates of Dreamland strikes, Virtual Dreamland Monsters Invasion has begun. Players play as surviving soldiers exploring battles to survive. Dreamland Difficulty Level 1. 180 days until destruction. How difficult is this level with bulletproof vest and handgun? I look up. A soldier, being bitten in the mouth by a green-haired King Kong. King Kong broke both legs of the soldier. He fell right at my feet. I couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva when I saw this scene. The next second, I became the target of King Kong's pursuit. I just ran into the house next door. The sound of impact came from the wall behind me. I see the wall behind me is about to collapse. However, I am considering whether I should use a gun. But what can I do when I return to reality? Tate is a professional assassin. In the end, I gave up using the gun. At this moment, outside, King Kong charged toward the wall that was about to collapse. I directly picked up a steel pipe in the room and used the floor as a support. I propped the steel pipe against the collapsing wall. King Kong started roaring and pushing the wall with force. I see the wall behind getting closer and closer. I feel like I'm going to be squeezed into mincemeat. Just at that moment, the steel pipe on the ground hit the wall behind. The steel pipe that hit the wall in front pierced through the wall directly, heading towards King Kong's eyes. With a "pu" sound, the steel pipe pierced directly into King Kong's eyes. King Kong screamed in pain, looking up at the sky. In the end, it covered its injured eyes, crying as it left this place. After the ordeal, I am gasping for breath. Slowly, I crawled out of the collapsed house. This is completely different from the first dreamland. That's good. Persisting will definitely lead to growth. Footsteps are approaching from up ahead at this moment. My first reaction is that there is danger. I immediately grabbed the steel pipe next to me. I activated the skill precision aiming towards the target direction. However, when I was about to throw it out, just then, I saw that the person who came was actually Jennifer from Eastern Corporation. But at this moment, the steel pipe in my hand has already slipped away. At the critical moment, I only touched the tail end of the steel pipe. In the end, the steel pipe only hit Jennifer's helmet. The steel pipe knocked her down to the ground. Originally, I thought it was Monster. I never expected it to be Jennifer. Jennifer is strange. Am I not in the hospital? Why am I here? She told me that I was covered in blood. I broke into her room. I fell into the hot spring pool. She made the emergency call. She watched me being taken away in the ambulance. I see. I must have accidentally run into her room. In reality, I should be lying in a hospital bed by now. I told Jennifer. I woke up in this ruins. I asked her how did she get here. Jennifer said she had a similar experience. She also ended up here inexplicably. She heard noises from this direction and ran over to check. I am very puzzled. I didn't choose to enter the game, nor did I choose an assistant. This game does have issues indeed. Anyway, I still want to thank Jennifer. If it weren't for her calling an ambulance, I would have died long ago. Jennifer said beautiful words. Let's talk about it when you're alive. She feels I threw the javelin pretty well. She should be able to help. Heard the help. I looked puzzled. She asked me to look at the ruins floating in the sea and asked if they looked familiar to me. I was shocked when I saw clearly. It turned out to be the office building of our company. Jennifer analyzed that based on the surrounding buildings, we should be in the future. The sea breeze has a pungent smell, most likely corrosive. The sea level is rising continuously. Eventually, the entire land may be submerged. So the destruction of the world refers to this? Jennifer continued. The good news is that there are other humans here. She can roughly infer a habitable location for humans. The bad news is that there are many monsters here. She witnessed a King Kong eating a person. She asked me what I think. Should we cooperate? She will be responsible for leading the way. I am very curious about her conclusion about crossing. I asked her if she is not afraid. She told me she just wants to survive. In the end, we reached a cooperation agreement. We set off together towards the place of resettlement. Jennifer asked me if I used to be a competitive athlete. I didn't expect that she still remembered my name. She didn't even look up when we shook hands for the first time. She told me that back then I had no usefulness to her. Greeting me was a waste of time. She's really harsh with her words. Always calculating like this in daily life might leave her without friends. When we climbed up a hill, after seeing the scene in front of me, I couldn't help but compliment her. Because not far ahead, it looked like a fortress. Jennifer proudly told me that having value is the key to having friends, isn't it? I covered her proud mouth with my hand. Then I and her hid together against the wall. I saw a huge monster moving above our heads. I pulled out the pistol from my waist. Tell Jennifer not to get her hopes up. Let her remember to protect herself by holding the gun in case of danger. Jennifer took the gun without hesitation and said thank you. If there's danger, she'll help. Slowly, we arrived at the edge of the fortress. After observing and not finding any monsters, we entered. Jennifer seemed puzzled after coming in. Everything here, whether it's the buildings or the ground, is very clean. Obviously, someone cleans here every day. Why haven't we seen anyone? I was suddenly attracted by a building in front of me. It looks like a military fortress, but the tree branch structure on top seems a bit like an eagle's nest. Jennifer feels that an eagle's nest couldn't be this large. The next second, a hawk's cry came from the sky. We only saw the mutated giant eagle. A mutated eagle flew towards us in the sky. Jennifer reminded me to quickly hide in the house, but I stared motionless at the eagle in the sky. I asked Jennifer to hide by herself without worrying about me. Jennifer said I was crazy. She thinks the eagle is too big. My steel arrows cannot kill it. But this is exactly what I want. At first, I was threatened by Tate with a knife against my neck. He mocked me. I could only watch as the knife was held to my neck, unable to resist at all. He said that I kept saying I wanted to change my fate, but he effortlessly destroyed me. He said I was far from being able to become his right-hand man. If Dreamland ends, only the most memorable things can be remembered. I hope to remember the courage to fear nothing. It looked at me as I made attacking movements. The mutated eagle screeched disdainfully. However, the next second it was stunned. Countless steel bars flew towards it. Not a single one was of use. I will make up for it with quantity. That monster eagle. It was directly pierced into a hornet's nest by the steel bars I threw. Jennifer looked at all this incredulously. With a bang, the eagle that lost its life dropped directly beside me. Its deep green blood spilled onto my body. Shortly after, my whole body started to feel a corroded sensation. The pain was so intense that I knelt on the ground screaming. Jennifer ran over. The liquid is corrosive. The next second, Jennifer was utterly shocked. The corrosive liquid has already corroded my entire body, producing small deep pits one by one. Suddenly, there came the sound of dripping within the military fortress. Following that, the gate opened. A robot ran out. Emergency medical assistance system activated upon detecting injured humans. A syringe extends from the robot's arm. Before Jennifer could react, the robot inserted the syringe directly into my back. It then started administering the injection to me. I suddenly became dizzy and passed out. The robot displayed a message indicating insufficient power supply. It is about to shut down. Then the robot shut down. When I woke up again, I was in a strange place. Jennifer was nowhere to be found. I actually recovered. I'm curious too. Wasn't I corroded? And where is this? Jennifer told me this is the interior of a bunker. In a critical moment, this robot injected me with a drug. Afterwards, my wound healed at a visible speed. It's simply a medical miracle. Maybe she can tell me everything about this place when she wakes up. At this moment, the robot made a sound as the power was restored. It found a large amount of dirt. Afterwards, it yelled, "Clean up," and ran outside. Carol opened her robot's head. A large amount of flame spurted out towards the eagle's body. I'm curious if this is about cleaning. Jennifer said her manufacturing process is very advanced. It may need some kind of password to activate. She suddenly remembered the 2003 mark on the robot. So she tried shouting, "2003!" at the robot. With a click, the robot's head restored. It said, "Debris Robot 2003 received instructions. Automatic hosting program ended. Intelligent program starting." Subsequently, it reported a total of 1,130 days of hosting. Encountered 363 biological attacks. Processed 45,200 tons of garbage. Damaged in 672 places. The scrapping alert requires comprehensive maintenance. Subsequently, her eyes turned green. Smart program started. Her next move left Jennifer and me stunned.